so we have no mobile data. Yesterday night when we were searching Google Maps, we also can't find much information. The second longest suspension bridge in the world.
He's the most famous man in Andorra.
And the view is awesome. It was kind of like a hailstorm. Today we start our day in yet another country here in Europe, and we are at Andorra.
Andorra is a country between Spain and France.
So Andorra is not in the Schengen zone. For Andorra, there's no visa requirements, but if you come from Spain, if you need to enter into and out of Spain, you might want to check whether does your visa allows you to enter Spain twice, or you need to reapply for another visa. Same goes if you're entering from France. So this morning we woke up very early. We set a 3 hours bus all the way to Andorra. And once we are in Andorra, we realized that our SIM card doesn't work, so we have no mobile data. And yesterday night when we were searching Google Maps, we also can't find much information about the public transportation here in Andorra. So once we alighted from the bus, we were a little bit lost. There's actually a public bus terminal right outside the bus station which we alighted from, and that is the point where all the public bus in Andorra starts from. So you might need to wait for about 20 to 30 minutes and sometimes about 40 minutes for the bus. And we set a L4 bus to Canillo, and the reason why is because we want to visit the must-visit attraction here in Andorra, which is a suspension bridge, as well as a viewpoint called the Mirador del Roc del Quer. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it right. Both this attraction is a must-visit if you are in Andorra because it offers a thrilling walk across the suspension bridge as well as an awesome viewpoint. As mentioned, we set the L4 bus here to Canillo, and you need to get off at this stop here called the Palau de Gel. Once you arrive from a bus stop, you just walk on your right hand side all the way to a tourist information center, and inside it you can purchase tickets for both these attractions. So this ticket enables to visit both of these attractions, and you can also sit a free shuttle bus through and fro from Canillo, the suspension bridge, as well as to the viewpoint. You can also opt to drive there if you are renting a car, but for us, because we are sitting public transportation in Andorra, so we opted for this option. The other thing to note is that the suspension bridge is time gated. We actually came at around 1 PM, but the next available slot was at 3 PM. So if you really need a specific slot, you can actually book the tickets online. But because we weren't sure when we will arrive in this town, that's why we didn't pre-book the tickets in advance. So that's also something to take note of. So join us today as we explore Andorra. We are planning to spend 1.5 days here, and we will see you at each of these attractions.
Bye!
Here we are at the other end of this bridge. This is the Pont Gibeta de Canillo. So it is 603 meters long, and it is currently the second longest suspension bridge in the world, and it is actually suspended 1,875 meters above ground, and at 600 meters it is very shaky while we were there.
I'm a person that afraid of height, but today I have successfully conquered the bridge, and I found a trick. So the trick is do not look down. I think some of you might already know the trick, but yes, do not look down, just look far.
So to make it a little bit more thrilling, the pathway has tiny holes so you can actually look through all the way down to the ground. When the wind blows or when there's a lot of people trying to walk the bridge, it is slightly shaky. So for those people which has serious vertigo problem, I wouldn't recommend because it's really very scary. And halfway through, if you decide to give up, it's too late. Right? You either complete it or you walk back.
Just look far.
Yeah.
Just look at the exit.
And feel the bridge shaking. It's quite an experience and definitely worth a trip if you are visiting Andorra. So right now, guess what we're going to do? We need to walk back. And yeah, because the shuttle bus actually is over on the other side, so you have to sit it up to the viewpoint. We will see you when we get to the viewpoint. Behind us,
He's the most famous man in Andorra.
this is the Mirador del Roc del Quer. So this is a suspended observatory deck. It is 20 meters in length and 8 meters is on land, and the other 12 is suspended in the air. What makes this more interesting is that there are some glass panels where you can look directly through, and it feels like you are floating because you can actually see 180 degrees of the mountains and the hills at the front of the observatory deck, and the view is awesome. Plus the statue there, it makes it a little bit more interesting.
I really like the statue.
Yeah, it makes the whole scenery a little bit better because it looks as if that the person is looking out to the observatory deck, just like what you are doing. If you're in Andorra, definitely come here.
It's raining. We need to rush back to the bus stop. Bye bye.
A very good morning here in Andorra. Yesterday was a little bit unexpected. The funny story is, while we were buying the tickets, the staff was saying that they will still operate even though it is raining, and in our minds we were thinking, it is so sunny, how can it rain? But it did. It rained very heavily. It was kind of like a hailstorm. It was actually raining small balls of ice, and it was so heavy and people were so drenched. They were all not prepared like us, but thankfully we had a small umbrella and we didn't get drenched as badly. A lot of people got drenched because the whole path from the observatory to the bus stop is unsheltered. Thankfully, the bus stop itself has a small shelter which we all stayed there while waiting in the cold for the bus.
What an experience.
Yeah, it was totally unexpected because it was really hot before then.
And we are very lucky. We saw a double rainbow yesterday.
Yes. Yeah, and this morning, unlike the southern France as well as Barcelona, which we visited, Andorra is actually really cold. It is very cold and windy. It's as if we are back in Switzerland again.
Exactly.
Yeah. If you are like us and you want to visit multiple European cities within a trip, I think you need to check the temperature because temperature and the weather conditions are very, very different. So behind us is a monumental bronze sculpture. This is the Nobleza del Temps. In English, it is called the Nobility of Time, and it actually symbolizes the passing of time which dominates humanity. A lot of art lovers actually come to Andorra just to see this piece of work, and it's some form of a clock with some angels and men and a tree behind. It's a very unique bronze sculpture, and right behind the bronze sculpture is actually a nice view of Andorra. If you are already here in Andorra and you are visiting the shopping street, do drop by and see this monumental bronze sculpture. So Andorra seems like a very good town to spend a day or two at. Definitely worthwhile to visit the suspension bridge, observatory deck, as well as do some shopping. The shopping street is actually filled with shopping centers. So thanks for joining us in this video on Andorra, and we will see you in our next video.
Bye bye.
Bye.
深圳是中国哎。